कृष्ण प्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति चारु स्वामिनीति नामिने स्निग्धचित शुभ्रनीत भगवितांस साप्रतम् पादगत प्राणं नमामि भक्ति चारु पदम् नमो योग विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनीति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी असत्तदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare भक्ति चारु स्वामी गुरु महाराज की निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि गौर प्रेमानंदे। Can sing someone please? I cannot. Glorify please. Start to glorify.
Krishna Hare since I was singing now. Devadharma Prabhu, we left.
Yes.
So we, as usual, we sing the Yalinga Premadana in honor of the good part of Vaishnav, and maybe since I was singing.
Jaya Nilo Premadhana from Sri Parthana by Sri Narottam Das Thakur, a song based on the lamentation due to separation from the Lord and his associates. And we will read the translation in English. He who brought the treasure of divine love and who was filled with compassion and mercy, where has such a personality as Srinivasacharya gone? Where are my Swarup Damodar and Rupa Goswami? Where is Sanatana? Where is Raghunath Das, the savior of the fallen? Where are my Raghunath Bhatta and Gopal Bhatta? And where is Krishna Das Kaviraj? Where did Lord Gauranga, the great dancer, suddenly go? I will smash my head against the rock and enter into the fire. Where will I find Lord Gauranga, the reservoir of all wonderful qualities? Being unable to obtain the association of Lord Gauranga, accompanied by all of these devotees in whose association he performed his pastimes, Narottam Das simply weeps. Eka kale ko thage His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Guru Maharaj Ki His Divine Grace Abhay Charanaravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you so much for coming tonight. So now we're gonna have Guru Puja to His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj, and we would request Brinda Priya. No? Yes, Radhakanta Prabhu. Can you do the Guru Puja? Yeah. And Molida Prabhu, if you want to sing. We're going to sing the Samsara Davana, Gurvashtaka. I guess all of you know the song. Otherwise, Sundar Jagannath Prabhu, if you can get some song books there. Who doesn't know the song, Gurvashtaka? Then Unheitsausschuss. Sundar Jagannath Unheitsausschuss. Da stehe lang in Hand. So let me just take this opportunity to explain the program for tonight. For those of you who don't know, we're very fortunate tonight. We have His Holiness Bhakti Vigyan Goswami Maharaj here. He has had personal association with His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami, and he will speak at 7 here. He will speak most probably a little bit about his memories of Maharaj and also give us some wisdom how to celebrate this day, and especially for those who feel the separation of Maharaj, how to deal with this. But before the lecture we'll also have Gora Arati, that will be at 6:30, and now we have, as I said before, we have Guru Puja and then Pushpanjali. So I would request all of you, please, let's stand up. Mulida Prabhu, of course, you can sit, but in respect to Maharaj, we can stand.
Kalyana Gunanavasyo Vande Guru Shri Charana Ravindam Tatsadasva Tananavasya Vande Guru Shri Chararavinda Praptasya Kalyano Gunanavasya Vande Guru Shri Chararavinda Praptasya Kalyano Gunanavasya Vande Guru Shri Chararavinda Mahaprabhu Kirtana Nitya Gita Vaditya Madhyan Manasor Siddho Mahaprabhu Kirtana Nitya Gita Vaditya Madhyan Manasor Siddho Romanchakam Pasutaranga Bhajo Vande Guru Shri Chararavinda Romanchakam Pasutaranga Bhajo Vande Guru Shri Chararavinda Shri Vigrahara Nityanana Shingaratan Mandira Majanara Jivigrahara Nityanana Shingaratan Mandira Majanara Yuktasya Bhaktam Chaniyon Yatopi Vande Guru Shri Chararavinda Yuktasya Bhaktam Chaniyon Yatopi Vande Guru Shri Chararavinda Yaturveda Shri Bhagavad Prasada Svadvana Triptan Haribhakta Sangan Yaturveda Shri Bhagavad Prasada Svadvana Triptan Haribhakta Sangan Haribhakta Vachada Sareva Vande Guru Shri Chararavinda Viteva Tripti Vachada Sareva Vande Guru Shri Chararavinda Viradika Madhavayurpara Madhurya Leela Gunarupanamno Viradika Madhavayurpara Madhurya Leela Gunarupanamno Pratikshara Swadhana Lalupajya Vande Guru Shri Chararavinda Pratikshara Swadhana Lalupajya Vande Guru Shri Chararavinda Nikandayana Ratikelisira Jayalibi Yukti Rapekshariyo Rikanyayana Ratekelisira Jayalibi Yukti Rapekshariyo Tattati Raksha Rativallabhajya Vande Guru Shri Chararavinda Vande Guru Shri Chararavinda Tattare Narsamashta Shastre Uktastudabhayakta eva sapi Sakshatare Narsamashta Shastre Uktastudabhayakta eva sapi Kinto prabhaya Batocho Bande Gurotri Chorara Vindo Praboya Priya Batocho Bande Gurotri Chorara Vindo Yasya Prasara Yagada Prasaro Yasya prasada nagadi kudapi Yasya prasada bhagavat prasada Yasya prasada nagadi kudapi Ayam suram sasya yasasti sanyam Bande gurotri Charadara Vendam Bhanasuram Tasya Yasasi Sanja Bande Gurati Charadara Vendam Dayam Suram Tasya Yasasi Sanjam Bande Gurati Charadara Vendam Dayam Suram Tasya Yasasi Sanjam Samsara Nanalida Loka Kanaya Karuna Gana Ganatam Samsara Nanalida Loka Kanaya Karuna Ganatam Taptasya Kalyana Ganana Bodhyo Bande Gurasi Charanara Vindam Dayam Sunata Sunana Bodhyo Bande Gurasi Charanara Vindam Dayam Turam Tasya Yasasi Sanyam Bande Gurasi Charanara Vindam Bhakti Sulam Tasya Yasasi Sanyam Bande Guroti Charanara Vindam Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva 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 Bhakti Charu Swami Gurudeva Bhakti Charu Swami Gurudeva Jaya Bhakti Charu Swami Gurudeva Bhakti Charu Swami Gurudeva Jaya Bhakti Charu Swami Gurudeva Bhakti Charu Swami Gurudeva Jaya Bhakti Charu Swami Gurudeva Bhakti Charu Swami Gurudeva Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jaya Prabhupada 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 Srila Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada 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 Srila Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada 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 Srila Prabhupada
His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Guru Maharaj ki Jai. Tirobhava ki Jai. Okay, dear devotees, so we're gonna do Pushpanjali in the very end, because now we have Gaura Arati. So please, right. Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Baladev, Jaya Subhadra, Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Jaya Gaura Hari, Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Gaura Hari. Nitai Gaura Hari. Namaya Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nityanande Srimate
achen Gorachar Ratna Singhasane Gorachar Ratna Singhasane Arati kare na Brahma Adi Devagane Arati Arati kare na Brahma Adi Devagane Arati Adi kore chamar dolayo naro hore adi kore dhulayo Are Sanjaya Mukunda Vasu Vachaya Digaya Sanjaya Mukunda Vasu Vachaya Digaya Sanjaya Shankho vaje Ghanta vaje Vaje karo tala Baje karo tala Ar madhura nidanga baje paramrasala Madhura mridanga vade paramrasala Madhur 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 vaje Madhur 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 vaje madhur Shankha vaje ghanta vaje madhur 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 vaje Shankha vaje ghanta vaje मधुर 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 बाजे गौरांगेर आरती माझे मधुर 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 बाजे गौरांगेर आरती माझे निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल भदनायो जाल चंद्र जिने भदना उजाल आर्गाल देते बाना माला करे जलमाल गाल दे आर्गाल देते बाना माला करे जलमाल गद गद शिव ओ सुख नारद प्रेम गद गद विनाद देखे गौरार संपाद वाकति विनाद गौरार संपाद आर वाकति विनाद देखे गौरार संपाद चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद श्री कृष्ण प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Gaurango. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaurita. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Gaura Gaura. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Nitai Gauranga, Jaya Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Jaya Nitai Gauranga. Nitai Gauranga Jaya Gaura Hare. Nitai Gauranga Jaya Gaura Hare. Gaura 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 Hare. Gaura 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 Hare. Jai Satyanandana Gaura Hare. Jai Satyanandana Gaura Hare. Nadiya Bihari Jaya Gaura Hare. Nadiya Sachi Mayur Pranadhana Gaura Hare. Bhakta Charu Pranadhana Gaura Hare. Gaura 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 Hare. Gaura 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 Hare. Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath. Jai Baladeva, Jai Subhadra. Jai Baladeva, Jai Subhadra. Jagannath Swami Nayana Patagami. Jagannath Swami Nayana Patagami. Nayana Patagami Bhavatu me. Le Nayana Patagami Bhavatu me. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Gaurango. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Gaura Gaura. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jaya Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj Gurudeva Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj Gurudeva Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj Gurudeva Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev Gurudev Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Gaur Vimanande Jai Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajakacharya Ashtatra Sutta Sismat Abhay Charanarvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajakacharya Ashtatra Sutta Sismat Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada ki Namacharya Haridas Thakur ki Sri Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Jiva Gopal Bhattadas Sagnath Prabhugan ki Prem se Gaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasati Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki Radha Krishna Gop Gopinath Shankun Radha Kunda Giraj Maharaj ki Ganga Mai ki Jamuna Mai ki Bhakti Devi ki Tulasi Maharani ki Sikatra Pridham ki Jai Jai Sudarshan Chakra ki Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani ki Navadvip Mayapur Dham ki Patita Pavan Gaurnitai ki Jagad Jagad Dharma Nama Sankirtan ki Sri Radha Madhav Astasya Saman Mahaprabhu ki Panchatattva ke Nisingati Bhagavan Prahlad Maharaj ki Jai Ananta Kati Vaishnavrinda ki His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Guru Maharaj Tirobhava Observance ki Jai Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki Ananta Kati Vaishnavrinda ki Nitai Gaur Brahmanande Hari Hari All glories there assemble devotees. All glories there assemble devotees. All glories there assemble devotees. All glories all goes to Guru and Go. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Gaur Vimanande.
Namaste Narasimhaya Namaste Narasimhaya Namaste Narasimhaya Namaste Narasimhaya Prahlada Swami ki jai, Bhakti Charu Swami ki Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Jaya Jagannathaya Baladeva Jaya Subhadra Jagannathaya Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Gurudeva Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Hidai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nishtai Gaura Hari Bol Nishtai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nishtai Gaura Hari Bol There you go, Premanande.
Sing not so high, okay? And flow, everyone flow, because today Maharaj happens day, so soft kirtan we need. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So, welcome to His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj. Thank you so much for agreeing to speak tonight in honor of His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj. There's still a little bit space here if you want to come a little closer. There's also some devotees outside, so there is more space. And then I would like to give the word to you, Maharaj. Thank you.
Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnanam Jana Shalakaya Chaksurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yudapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakha Visamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sudevi Vancha kalpa tarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Ajanumandita Bhujokana Kavadata Sankirtanaika Pitaro Kamalaya Taksha Vishwambaro Dvijavaro Yugadharma Palavande Jagat Priya Karo Karunavatar Yandah Pravishya Mama Vachimamam Prasuptam Sanjivaya Tekila Shakti Darah Swadhamna Anyam Shasta Charana Shravana Dvagadim Pranandamo Bhagavate Purushaya Tubhyam. Hare Krishna. So today we are celebrating the disappearance day of His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami. And it is said that in case of the devotees, their disappearance day is more important than their appearance day. In case of Krishna and his incarnations, we don't celebrate disappearance day at all, because they never disappear. But according to Vaishnava tradition, the Tirobhava Mahotsav, the disappearance day of a great Vaishnava, is the cause for great joy and celebration. Like I spent some time in Vraj, and in Vraj there is a very established tradition that on disappearances days of great Vaishnavas there is a huge bandara, huge feast where everyone is being invited, and people know and they commemorate these great souls who are traversing this earth, being sent from the spiritual sky. Why disappearance day is more important than appearance day? The reason is very simple. Because when a great Vaishnava appears in this earth, nobody knows that he is a great Vaishnava. When Krishna appears in this verse, everyone knows that he is appearing in this earth. The demigods come, the demigods offer prayers. It's well known, and he is coming in his full glory. But a Vaishnava, no matter how perfect he is, no matter how accomplished he is, when he appears in a very humble way as an ordinary quote-unquote human being. But the scale, the real his real personality becomes known ultimately after he disappears. In case of great Vaishnavas, the tendency, the human tendency, is still there to somehow or other not appreciate them fully, but when they leave us, then we can truly understand who was there with us, or at least to a certain extent understand that somebody very special was with us. While he is here, we still tend to kind of equate ourselves, at least to a certain extent, with him, and not really understand that here is somebody who is very, very special. And definitely Bhakti Charu Maharaj is somebody who is very, very special. It was clear, it was obvious, but somehow or other the illusory energy of the Lord nevertheless covering this clear fact by her veil, and it's clear, but it's not 100% clear. So definitely Bhakti Charu Maharaj was not an ordinary being. You know, the way he spoke, the way he moved, it was not of this world. If we remember the description of the spiritual world from Brahma Samhita, where it is said that there every step is a dance and every word is a song, that's the description of Bhakti Charu Maharaj. You know, if you remember how he would walk, I very clearly remember how he walked. It was not just an ordinary walking of an ordinary mortal being. It was a graceful walk of somebody who is not of this world. And I remember how he would, you know, his gesture when he would put on his chadar in a very graceful way. I still very clearly see how he walks towards the microphone on Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada's appearance day in Mayapur, because he was the one always chosen to chant Pushpanjali prayers. Because everyone knew that when he speaks something, again, when he walks, it's a dance. When he speaks, it's a song. You know, he doesn't need to sing it in a special tune. He just have to open his mouth. That's enough. And the voice, which is filled with his consciousness, is coming out, and you feel that you are in contact with something special. You know, we could all definitely understand, you know, that his voice was magical. You know, there are maybe a couple of people in this world who have this magical voice. They just pronounce something, and you know, something happens with you, and you start crying. So that's the description. He was the Vaikuntha man who was with us. And at one point I very clearly could understand this. There is another amazing quality of his. He never got old. He didn't change. Of course, maybe from his, you know, childhood, he changed a little bit. But this amazing continuity of the same sort of nature was there, some magical thing. But it happened to me one day in Mayapur when we all came, and there was this ISKCON GBC Sannyasi Guru Sangha. And we all came, all these, leaders of ISKCON. And of course, I joined ISKCON in early in 1980, even a little before maybe. And at that time, Prabhupada just left, and basically everyone was still very young. All the gurus, all the leaders in the society, they were still, very useful. And for some time it went on, and I used to look at everyone and was always admired their beauty and usefulness and useful energy. I remember Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj, how he was useful and graceful, and how he was dancing and full of amazing enthusiasm, and so many others. But this time, this year, I came to ISKCON GBC Sannyasi Guru Leadership Sangha, and all of a sudden I looked around and I saw everyone is old. Every single one. I was looking and I was so depressed. All of a sudden it happened, like last year, the year before, they were still somewhat young, but this year, it was painful to see, and I was so depressed. And then, out of blue, Bhakti Charu Maharaj is swimming to you gracefully in this, crowd of old people, and he's the same. And I became so consoled by this. I became, now at least somebody is not the subject of the laws of material nature. He didn't change. He didn't change it, even though he was older than most of other leaders. He was the same, with the same gesture, with the same walking, with the same kind words. And it was, anyway, let's come to this a little later. So I started speaking that he was special, and there is a testimonies which he gives himself in his book, The Ocean of Mercy, very clear testimonies that he was special. It is said that in Chaitanya Bhagavata, that the great devotees of the Supreme Lord appeared in different places. In Bengal, during Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance, in different places, in different times, sometimes even far away, like Nityananda Prabhu was in Ekachakra, the home village of our Devadharma Prabhu. But then they somehow or other mysteriously came to one place, to Navadvip, flocked in Navadvip to participate in the pastimes, and their real identity was revealed after some time. So this is exactly the description of some of Prabhupada's disciples. We should not underestimate them. I wouldn't say that all of them were, of this status, but definitely some of them, and definitely Bhakti Charu Maharaj was one of them. Krishna sent him specifically to help Srila Prabhupada in his mission and to preserve Srila Prabhupada's legacy. And the beautiful story which he himself describes in The Ocean of Mercy is that how he was attracted to this mystical lady, saint Anandamayi, who had ashram in Himalayas, how he was searching for Guru, searching for Guru, searching for Guru, and finally found this amazing personality. Srila Radhanath Maharaj describes meetings with her in his book Journey Home, And she impressed so many people because she was inborn mystic. She was obviously a yogi from many, many lifetimes. She had so many followers, and she was, you know, she was spontaneously entering into samadhi, into some sort of samadhi since her childhood. So Bhakti Charu Maharaj was naturally very attracted to her, and he was loved by all the inhabitants of her ashram, and he came. At one point he was brought to her by her secretary, and he was introduced to her as somebody, as a candidate for initiation. And she smiled very kindly, and she said, he doesn't belong here. He belongs somewhere else, and when he surrenders to somebody, the whole world will surrender to him. If it's not a divine prophecy, tell me what is. So it's definitely a description of what happened, and then, you know, he describes how he was leaving the ashram. He decided he was allowed to stay there even though he was rejected. He was very morose that she rejected him, but then he decided to leave the ashram the next day, on the same day, and he was leaving ashram, and she was there giving darshan and giving prasadam, grace to people. And he noticed that she is giving the prasadam with the left hand, which is totally against the tradition. You cannot give something to the left hand. She was a little surprised, and she saw him, and she called him to come closer, and she took some apple and gave to him with her right hand. And then her secretary, while leading him, while following him and going with him, seeing him off, he said to him, you know what? She gave you the real mercy. He said, how come? You're just saying it to console me because she just rejected me. He said, no. For ordinary people, when she just wants to give blessings, she gives prasadam with the left hand. But for those whom she wants to give special mercy, she gives with the right hand. And you were this special soul who has given her mercy, and it basically means she's not only giving your ordinary blessings, but she is really gives you her spiritual powers. So that's that story touched me very much, and it's very clear that you know, these great people who have not ordinary vision, who have real vision, they saw that Bhakti Charu Maharaj from the very beginning, before he was initiated, was marked by a special mercy of the Lord. And another story, which is actually almost next to this story, which impressed me very much, what he tells, is that he started praying. He was frustrated. He wanted to find a guru. He is from Indian tradition, and he knows that without guru we are nowhere. Of course, you know, there are some Krishnamurti and people like this who are trying to establish some other rule. But the ancient tradition is that you need a guru. And to reinforce this tradition, Krishna himself took guru, accepted guru, Sandipani Muni. Lord Ramachandra accepted guru, Vishwamitra Muni, and his, of course, Vasishta Muni, his family priest. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted guru. So because Guru is needed, because Guru is the instrument of Krishna by which Krishna can teach you. Guru may not know how Krishna is teaching through him, but Krishna knows. Krishna is dealing with this particular person through the media of Guru. And Bhakti Charu Maharaj was from this traditional background, and he was a very sincere seeker. But he couldn't find a Guru. And he was frustrated and desperate. And then he said to the Lord, okay, if you want me to have a Guru, just send me one. I did my best. I couldn't find anyone, so please send me somebody who is the Guru. And actually that's what Bhaktivinoda Thakur also says, that when this cry is coming from the heart of the soul, that I need a Guru, when desperately we are begging the Lord to send us the Guru, then Krishna makes arrangement. Krishna somehow or other makes this arrangement and connects us, and Charu Maharaj explains how his friend gave him this book, Nectar of Devotion. And again, it's very interesting and very rare that devotees would become a devotee by reading the book Nectar of Devotion. There are so many devotees who became devotee by reading Bhagavad Gita. It's natural. Some became devotees by reading perfect questions, perfect answers. But if you become a devotee just by reading Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, it means something. If the first book which you read and which you encounter and by which you are impressed is the Nectar of Devotion, it speaks something about you, first and foremost. And that's why Bhakti Charu Maharaj called his memoirs about Srila Prabhupada as the nectar, as the ocean of nectar. So, ocean of mercy, ocean of mercy. He started with Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, the ocean of the nectarian rasas of bhakti, and he realized this, and then he wrote the ocean of mercy, which is basically the same. He just more or less paraphrased this and adopted this name for our consumption and for our made it relevant to us. So, just by reading this one book, which he read within one night, he understood this is my spiritual master. This is somebody who can reveal me the truth I'm seeking for, I'm yearning, I'm trying to somehow or other to obtain and to search. So, and then, he's very special in so many regards. Among all the disciples of Srila Prabhupada, he's really very distinct. He is the only one out of many sannyasis who received sannyas from Srila Prabhupada, whom Srila Prabhupada changed the name and put Bhakti in front. Everyone else, Srila Prabhupada just remained Brahmachari name, added some title Swami or Goswami, and that's it. Tamal Krishna Goswami, this Goswami, this Swami. Bhakti Charu Swami, he changed the name. And again, he gave this very special name, Bhakti Charu, which means the charm of bhakti. Somebody who is the manifested charm or beauty of bhakti. How bhakti is beautiful. Here is the living representation of this beauty of bhakti. And that was it, you know. As I said, everything which he was doing was beautiful. He was beautiful himself. He behaved in a very beautiful way, in a very merciful way. He was full of this, you know, grace and sincerity and appreciation of people. It was, you know, it was heart-melting experience to see how he is dealing with other people. I remember after he departed, we spoke with Srila Niranjan Maharaj for some time. He was devastated by his departure. I was totally devastated by his departure. Anyway, I will come to this point if I will be able to contain myself. And Niranjan Maharaj, I told Niranjan Maharaj, I can't imagine Mayapur without Bhakti Charu Maharaj. For me, Mayapur, I met him in different other locations. I met him in America, I met him in London, I met him in Ujjain, I met him in Mumbai, I met him in few different other places, but mostly every time we would come for Guru Purnima, for the GBC meetings, I knew that Bhakti Charu Maharaj is going to be there. And I knew that he would come to the microphone among the crowds and he would chant this pranam mantras, mantras of our parampara, and he would say Pushpanjali. And I knew he would lead kirtan, and I knew he would say something during the GBC, although he usually didn't speak much. And when we started speaking about this, and I said, I really, it's difficult to express, but for me, Mayapur without Bhakti Charu Maharaj, it's strange. It's something strange, because he belongs to this place. He's a part of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's entourage. He is so natural in this place. I remember many times, you know, well, sometimes he would invite me also to his room, you know, to feed special prasad. I remember one time, I don't remember where it was, I think it was in Sweden, but I may be mistaken. We met, and he said, I'm cooking myself nowadays. All I eat what I cook. I said, why do you cook yourself? And he said, because I became very sick, and Prabhupada told me once, if you want to never become sick, just cook yourself. Because when you cook yourself, you like what you're cooking. It always tastes very special. And he said to me, do you want to try? So I was lucky. He fed me with his own hands of what he was cooking. And in Mayapur sometimes he would invite us, some other people, you know, with some very special prasadam there. But, you know, in general, it was so natural. He was more or less the living representative of this culture. We are coming to this movement not only to get some philosophy, but we're also coming to this movement attracted by the culture. And definitely Bhakti Charu Maharaj was the living manifestation of this beautiful culture of bhakti. And when I spoke with Niranjan Maharaj about this, that I cannot imagine Mayapur without Bhakti Charu Maharaj, and I still can't imagine. It seems very unnatural. he told me, yes, yes, yes. He told me, yes, yes, yes. Especially, you know, when we all come to the GBC and then Bhakti Charu Maharaj gracefully walks up to you and embraces you, and he started crying by saying this. He said, you know, how is that possible that I will come to Mayapur and there is nobody to embrace me? There is nobody to approach me in a very special and a personal way, and nobody to welcome me to Mayapur. He was definitely, you know, very special host for everyone who would come there. So, what shall I say? I started speaking that he was the manifestation of the beauty of Bhakti. Because, as we know, as Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, the main quality of Krishna. Krishna has 6 opulences. But all these other opulences are just partial manifestation of his nature. But the complete manifestation of his opulence is his beauty, which can take many shapes and forms. His beauty, his personal beauty, his emotional beauty, the beauty of his relationship, the beauty of his songs, the beauty of his personal behavior. So Krishna is beauty personified, and Bhakti is the personal energy of Krishna, which is, you know, who is the most beautiful person. So Bhakti means the essence of beauty. And Srila Prabhupada, by looking at Bhakti Charu Maharaj, at his devotion and his skillfulness and his intelligence, his manners, his, you know, culturalness and everything else, you know, he gave him the name. He changed the name. He said, yes, you are Bhakti Charu. You are somebody who is spreading the beauty of Bhakti just by your personality, just by your, just by being there. And that's what I also seen, you know, he didn't need to, you know, to do something impressive, because he himself was impressive. He was, you know, there was no need for him to do anything. He was something special. And it's sad that, you know, people cannot recognize this, because people are blind. We're all blind. We're all completely blind or partially blind because of our envy. Envy is the blindness which doesn't allow us to see the real glory of devotees and to glorify their qualities. But there is a remedy. Sometimes people ask how to get rid of envy and what is the medicine against this mortal disease, terminal disease of material existence, which is the epitome of which is envy. And the remedy or medicine against this disease is simple: to glorify devotees around you. You know, even you may not understand completely their glory, you may keep something within your heart, still glorify. This is the most purifying activity you can do. And that's exactly what we see in case of Bhakti Charu Maharaj. He was so generous, and when he would start glorifying devotees, he would not end, or he would do it with such a taste, teaching us what we are supposed to do. This is exactly what we are supposed to do, because if we do it as a sadhana, and sadhana means there is some sort of forcefulness, we are more or less forcing ourselves to do it. We may not feel it completely, but if we do it, we really, we will feel, every time we do it, we will feel that there is some lightness in our heart. We should glorify the devotees, and we should hear the glorification of devotees, because this is a very powerful part of our practice. And Bhakti Charu Maharaj was like this. He was glorifying other people, and he was, he was a good friend of everyone because of this simple reason. He was doing it naturally without any, of course, force. I know many people, and on the top there is some special problems as well, the relationship problems. People, who he thinks he is, and there is some sort of dynamic which is kind of familiar to us. But Bhakti Charu Maharaj, he was a unifying force, because he didn't have any enemies, and he was so generous in profusely glorifying other people. And he was doing it with such sincerity and such taste that it was so natural. And when people were next to him, near to him, they also felt like, oh, let's be together, let's glorify. The greatest loss which happened to ISKCON is actually the demise of His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj, because he was, and we can see that now there is some disintegrating processes going on, somebody drifting away. While he was there, his personality, his understanding that Prabhupada wants us to be united, his dedication to Srila Prabhupada and desire to please Srila Prabhupada were so strong that this sort of thoughts, they might have appeared in the people's mind, but they would not dare to do anything about it. But now, this amazing personality is not there, and let's see and let's pray that ISKCON will remain unified. It's difficult. And Bhakti Charu Maharaj, why he was doing this, why he was capable of doing this, why he was so natural by doing this, because of simple reason. He was not envious. Nobody could detect even a trace of envy in him. You felt completely safe and secure in his presence, whereas with others, due to some maybe hidden envy which is still there in the heart, you felt little, alarmed. Let's be cautious. But in him, you were disarmed, and he could disarm anyone basically just by his non-envious nature. And I know it because, I was for some time sort of a personal secretary for special area for Harikesh Maharaj, who's definitely quite famous here, or was famous here, and very, prominent figure for this yatra. And he was reserved, and I noticed, I observed him, I respected him very much, and I was quite close to him. But I also saw that he's lonely. He doesn't have so many relationships. He is dealing with many people in a very gentlemanly way, but as far as the close relationship, there was not much. But there was one exception, Bhakti Charu Maharaj. And he himself told me, when I asked him who is the closest, he said Bhakti Charu Maharaj, without thinking twice. He was somewhat close. He was close with Tamal Krishna Maharaj, but they were two powerful leaders. You know, some dynamic was there. But with Bhakti Charu Maharaj, there was nothing like this, and it is completely, the credit goes completely to Srila Bhakti Charu Maharaj because of his nature, because you didn't feel the need to be defensive in his presence. You know, there is no need to do anything. So this is how he works, and this is how it works. This is how bhakti works. This is how bhakti spreads. When we speak that bhakti comes from heart to heart, it's true, but for anything to enter our heart, there has to be some barrier is there, some armor is there. So to penetrate our heart, the armor has to be removed. So, and that's not an easy thing, because we're always on guard. We do not want to, you know, to get something within our heart, because we were burned so many times in this world. So to give us bhakti, the spiritual master or sadhu has to first take away the armor from our heart. Then only he can invest bhakti within our heart. That's the only way. So that was his secret and his glory, that he was capable of doing this. He was taking armors from people's heart, and then he was doing what he was supposed to do. Shortly before, not long before his departure, I met with him in the same year when he departed, in 2020, in Mayapur. That was my last meeting with him. The pandemic didn't start yet. It was not, I mean, it was brewing, but nothing was yet closed or whatever. And we were speaking about one particular person in ISKCON who was somewhat problematic, a prominent leader, and he's little on his own, and, you know, preaching a little bit something of his own. It doesn't matter. Bhakti Charu Maharaj was, I don't remember, was he GBC chairman at that year? Last year, in 2020? No? But anyway, he was deputed by the GBC to go to this particular leader and to speak with him and to kind of enter into dialogue. And when I thought about him, when I thought about this, I thought, this is the best choice GBC could do. Because only he can, you know, can start something, because otherwise there will be initial problem which is very difficult to overcome. And when I met with this leader later on this year, we spoke a little bit about Bhakti Charu Maharaj and his visit, and he was so appreciative. He was just, you know, endlessly glorifying him, although he is not a great fan of GBC, to put it mildly. So, but in case of Bhakti Charu Maharaj, he just couldn't stop glorifying him. He was saying, you know, it was so nice and it's so beautiful that he came here, and, you know, so that's That's the magic, miracle, one of the miracles which Bhakti Charu Maharaj was doing by just being present, by just being what he was, but being himself. You know, that's bhakti. That's how bhakti works, and that's how bhakti is being transferred from heart to heart. And during this last conversation in 2020, in Mayapur, we were sitting with him, and I was talking about Harikesh Maharaj, and he was also very appreciative. And later I met with Harikesh Prabhu in Alacho. Later, and inevitably we spoke about Bhakti Charu Maharaj, or maybe we spoke on the phone, I don't remember, but I definitely remember. He started saying, it's such a loss, it's such a loss, it's such a loss. So so during this last conversation with Bhakti Charu Maharaj in Mayapur, we were talking, and then he said something which really which touched my heart, struck me, and surprised me. We're talking about some different subject matters. It was my initiative, I wanted to speak with him. And by that time I was, 2017 I resigned from the GBC and I became what I am now, retired ex whatever. And then, you know, out of blue, we were talking with him, and out of blue, why don't you become a GBC member again? And, you know, in my life, I should be honest to you, when I resigned from the GBC, after some time I became extremely happy. I thought this is the wisest decision I ever made. But when Bhakti Charu Maharaj made this decision with such sincere and innocent, totally innocently, and with such a, you know, I don't know, with such a beautiful emotion in the heart, so sincerely, he said, why don't, you know, this is the first time, within this time, I thought, maybe I should telling this story to illustrate the power of his personality. You know, I was so happy that I resigned. I was very happily situated. I never thought about it. And then he comes and I said, well, maybe it's a good idea. So, of course, I didn't do it. I don't know. But what I want to say is that he was doing it with such pure heart, with completely, you know, without any trace of, you know, some double, you know, thought in mind, some hypocrisy, some, you know, something in mind, totally, completely pure. And I've seen this, you know, influence of him in many other occasions. Of course, not everyone was like this. I also seen some people who were not positively impressed, you know, but that's their problem. As far as I'm concerned, you know, it's the greatest loss. And in 2020, when this pandemic started, you know, we of course all heard that Bhakti Charu Maharaj went to America, and again it was his total self-sacrifice. It was dangerous. It was known that it is dangerous, and there was no real need, you know. At that time everyone adjusted to the new circumstances. Zoom has become the, you know, the savior of the world during pandemic. And we all were, as sometimes Radhanath Maharaj said, we were all consumed. So he could have been consumed, but he decided to go personally again, because that's his personal nature, because this is his, you know, soft heart, his readiness to sacrifice everything possible. And of course you know what happened. But what I want to say in connection with this whole thing is that I just could not believe that it's going to happen. You know, when the announcement was there that he's sick with COVID, I thought, oh, Maharaj is just playing his Leela. He just wants us to appreciate him even more. When he was hospitalized, and I thought, oh, this is another Leela. It cannot be, it's not possible. Not possible. I could not, you know, even at the, you know, at the remotest part of my consciousness believe that something like this happened. It couldn't happen. It could not happen. But it happened. It happened nevertheless, and it was extremely difficult. It was difficult to believe, and we all know that, you know, the Mamata Banerjee, who is a politician, but she arranged a very special, made a special arrangement for, you know, the body of Bhakti Charu Maharaj to be transported and to be placed in Samadhi, Mayapur. And it showed, you know, again, the extent of his influence. You know, simple devotees, very rich people, and big politicians, they all were charmed by his bhakti, because he is Bhakti Charu. And that's the fulfilling of the prophecy of Ananda Mayama, who said, when he surrenders, the whole world will come to his feet. And yes, whoever, again I said there were exceptions, but this is, the rule is that people who would see him, they would recognize something special in this person. And again, the most important quality is this total, complete absence of envy. Complete purity. And that's bhakti. That's bhakti. And then, you know, there are some strange people who say there is no spiritual masters in ISKCON. Prabhupada is great, but he couldn't make anyone a spiritual master. You know, what kind of glorification of Srila Prabhupada it is? You know, Prabhupada is great, but he couldn't make any decent disciple. You know, what kind of glorification of guru it is. You're such a great guru, but you know, you couldn't make anyone good. No, it's envy. And Bhakti Charu Maharaj is teaching us by his example how, what does it mean to be Vaishnava? It's simple. To be Vaishnava is very simple. You should not just envy anyone. That's it. You know, you don't have to do anything extra. You should stop doing something. But nothing extra is needed. Just be nice, be appreciative, be who you are, and be sure that you know that Bhakti and Krishna can fulfill all your desires and desires of everyone else. And of course, the very fact that he left this world in this day of Guru Purnim, of Vyasa Purnim, a very special day, because in many other traditional sampradayas, the disciples, they celebrate Vyasa Puja not on the particular day of birth of their spiritual master, but on this particular day, because they celebrate him as the representative of Vyasadeva. And they don't celebrate him as a separate personality, they celebrate him in this feature, in as much as he represents Vyas and his teachings, Vedic teachings. And of course in our tradition it's the disappearance day of Sanatana Goswami. And Sanatana Goswami, he is Sambandha Guru, Sambandha Acharya, and his deity, the deity of Sambandha, is Madan Mohan, somebody who attracts. And the name which Prabhupada gave to Bhakti Charu Swami is actually in connection with this Madan Mohan. Madan Mohan is attracting everyone by his beauty and bewildering everyone by his beauty. And Bhakti Charu means somebody who is charming everyone by his bhakti, who is giving the or revealing the beauty of bhakti to the whole world. So it's not a coincidence. Sri Krishna wanted this particular special soul sent to this world for a particular mission back on this day, and therefore it was so unbelievable. It was, and it is still unbelievable that he just left. But that's a divine arrangement, and we have to gracefully accept this arrangement and commemorate his appearance and his disappearance by remembering his beautiful qualities. And as I said, he was so special, you know, he was the only one who got the first, second and the third initiation within 1 year. You know, or so. You know, who else is there? And probably nobody else will be there in this convent, especially with our present bureaucratic system. But Prabhupada knew that there is a special soul, and he needs a special treatment, and he gave this special treatment. And we can consider ourselves very lucky because we also somehow or other come in touch with him and could experience his presence in our lives. So thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Maharaj, for giving this pure vision of His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami. So, we still didn't do Pushpanjali because we didn't have time before, so if we all can do this together now, I request all of you to please stand up. We have some 2 flower baskets, if maybe one Prabhu and one Mataji can distribute. And you can all come a little closer to the picture of Maharaj. Please everybody come a little closer. You all applause. So Govinda Prabhu is going to chant pranam. Please.
Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Charu Swami Iti Namine Snigdha Cheta Supraneta Vagvinam Chara Saplutam Prabhupada Kata Prana Nomi Bhakti Charu Padam Yesha Pushpanjali Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Charu Swami Iti Namine Snigdha Cheta Supraneta Vagminam Chara Saplutam Prabhupada Kata Prana Nomi Bhakti Charu Padam Yesha Pushpanjali Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Charu Swami Iti Namine Snigdha Cheta Supraneta Vagmina Chara Saplutam Prabhupada Kata Prana Nomi Bhakti Charu Padam Yesha Pushpanjali
His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Thank you, dear devotees, for taking part in this program. Now you're all invited outside to take prasadam. There will be a huge feast for all of you. And we want to thank again His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj for coming tonight and glorifying so nicely. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj ki jai. Gaura Premanande.